I swear that's great, Miss Great, Miss Great. You look into my eyes, you can see what I see. If you can say the world won't be the same without me, then we call that great, Miss Great. And that's a blessing. But wait a second. Look, while we on the subject, let me ask a question.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Uzzi Sports Show. I'm Jared Valluzzi with today's guest, Elijah Tobin. Elijah, thank you so much for being here. And last year, your junior season was huge. So what was really the development from your sophomore year to your junior year?
A lot of hard work, dedication, and staying true to my game.
And your junior year was, like I said before, enormous for you. You won AA2 Lineman of the Year. So, what was really the key to all that success?
My coaches, they motivated me a lot and just told me to keep pushing. And through a tough season that we had, just keep pushing along.
You mentioned that tough season. You guys did drop a few of your first games. So, what was really the key to bouncing back and getting some W's down the road?
Everybody keeping a cool head, don't get too frazzled about the past games, or just live in the present, don't live in the future or the past, just go with the flow.
And for your team, you're obviously an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman, so it seems like you play almost every single play. So, how do you really just keep the motor going and have success on both sides of the field?
A lot of conditioning. Conditioning is a huge part of the game. Conditioning every day after practice, it plays a big role.
And with that junior season, a big number was over 40 pancake blocks. So, how big is strength towards your game?
I feel strength is a huge part of the game, especially at the offensive line standpoint. You got to be able to move whoever off the line to have success for the running back and whoever else.
And with that great junior season that we just talked about, it did lead to some interest from schools. I do understand you have a couple of college offers. What's the recruiting process really been like for you?
It's been tough considering the circumstances, but I feel like Twitter is probably the biggest way to get around these days. So really Twitter and just marketing yourself.
And what schools have shown interest in you and actually offered you so far?
I got 2 Division I offers from LIU and Wagner College. And I've been looking toward a couple other schools, like down south. Thinking about leaving New York maybe. I'm not too sure yet.
And with recruiting, what do you think really separates yourself from others in your game?
I feel like my hustle. I feel like nobody else on the field wants it more than me. And just my play style in general. I just feel like I play the most violent game I can.
And during quarantine, actually, obviously this COVID-19 has really shaken a lot of things up. So what have you really done individually to stay productive?
Me not being having access to like any weights, I do a lot of push-ups, sit-ups, running a lot, and a lot of bike riding.
And you mentioned that's what you do individually, but what about as a team for you guys so far?
We haven't been able to get together as a whole team quite yet, but the linemen on both sides, we do get together once a week and work out.
And I do realize that you guys have a new coach on your staff, so what has really the interactions been like so far with that?
It's been really good. He's a really good coach, very understanding as well. If something is not going right, you ask him. He won't get mad at you for asking. It's more like a learning experience on both sides, him being a first-year head coach.
And your coaching staff overall at Holy Trinity, historically it's always been good, so how does the staff really help you develop?
Again, the understanding, they won't get mad at you for asking a question. There are no dumb questions, as they say, and it's more like it's a give and take type of thing. You put in, you're going to get a little bit back.
And obviously going D1, obviously the coaches look at on-the-field film, of course, but off the field is humongous. So, how big is the classroom for you and maintaining your grades?
Maintaining my grades is really important because football is not going to be around forever. So you have to be able to have a backup plan and what you want to do in life.
And also, as I mentioned, off the field is huge. It really comes down to grades like we just talked about, but also character. So, how big is character for you?
Character is huge. Our coach, Kamal Roy, he stresses being a good person, a good student, and a good athlete. Especially being a good person first, then everything else will follow.
And going into next season is your senior year, so leadership has to be key. So what is really your idea of being a leader and going into next season?
Mainly just making sure everybody's in check, on and off the field, and just being able to take charge and lead my team the best way I can.
Now, going into the 2020 season, what are some of the individual expectations you may have?
Get over 40 pancake blocks, definitely. Maybe 40 plus tackles. Yeah.
And Elijah, who are some of the returning pieces alongside you to really help you next season?
John Morales, Cameron Robbins, Jaden Sinclair, a rising sophomore, Irvin Briggs. I feel like they will help a lot.
And going into next season, of course, New York Catholic High School Football League feels like every team's schedule is always tough. So, playing against that real strong competition, how does it really help you grow as a player?
I feel like the competition helps me stay on my toes. Never get too comfortable because you never know what will happen.
And going into next season, I did mention that schedule. So what's one game you're really looking forward to and why?
St. John the Baptist. They have a lot of good players that I feel like we could get control of them early. It'll be a good game for us.
And Elijah, this is one question I love asking. If you could schedule one game against anybody in New York, private, public, absolutely anybody, who would it be and why?
It would have to be either Christ the King or Stepanek. And I say this because I just feel like they're two really good teams and I like a challenge.
Well, Elijah, thank you so much for your time. Everybody, I'm Jared Valluzzi. Thanks for watching.